All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing today? Good morning. Get the stream started. Good morning. Hopefully you got your coffee and your nausea medication. We're going to check out the press briefing that occurred a little bit ago about the special military operation day number 3 in Iran. Hegseth held a news conference, and we're going to peek into it to see. Before we get into that, got an update on the casualties. Unfortunately, one of the wounded members of the armed forces of the United States succumbed to his injuries, bringing the death toll to 4. To 4. 4 dead United States soldiers. Man, hitting a little close. One of my best friends growing up has a son in the Navy, and he was stationed in Bahrain 3 months ago. And he just came home. So he got rotated out just in time. Oof. Really close. God, it's scary. Scary thinking I have friends with kids that are old enough to go to war. But yeah, so it's crazy how time works. It's just crazy. My kids are younger, but God, how scary. All right, let's see what we got here. Dankster, thanks for being here. Obi-Wan, thanks for being here. Inconsequential, thanks for being here. Saw you were number 1. Thanks for showing up. Belle, hello, Belle. Annie, good to see you. Gene, thank you for the gifted membership earlier, and happy 4 months of memberships to Muchungalites. Enjoy your participation medal. Enjoy. I had a friend there for a while. That was a year ago. Yeah, it's crazy. That's not somewhere you would think it would be active conflict usually, unless we're already in a war. But yeah. All right, let's get into what Mr. Whiskey Leaks has to say of the SMO. Cut the music real quick. Without further ado, Pete Kegsbreath.
Good morning. We just finished an update with Admiral Brad Cooper, the CENTCOM commander, across the CENTCOM AOR, our leadership and troops, as you would expect, doing a fantastic job. 2 days ago, under the direction and direct orders of President Donald J. Trump, the Department of War launched Operation Epic Fury.
God.
The most lethal, most complex,
Operation Epic Chungus Fury,
and most precise aerial operation in history.
Operation Fortnite Chungus.
For 47 long years, the expansionist and Islamist regime in Tehran has waged a savage, one-sided war against America. They didn't always declare it openly, except for their constant chants of death to America. They did it through the blood of our people. Car bombs in Beirut, rocket attacks on our ships, murders at our embassies, roadside bombs in Iraq and Afghanistan, funded and armed by Iranian Quds Force and IRGC killers. My generation of veterans carry the names of brothers who never came home. Brothers butchered by Iranian-backed roadside bombs and well-armed militias, thousands of our own. We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it.
We started this war. Yeah.
Their war on Americans has become our retribution against their Ayatollah and his death cult. It took the 47th president, a fighter who always puts America first, to finally draw the line after 47 years of Iranian belligerence. He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you.
Wow.
President Trump has also been very consistent. Crazy regimes like Iran, hell-bent on prophetic Islamist delusions, cannot have nuclear weapons. It's common sense. Many have said it, but it takes guts to actually enforce it, and our president has guts.
This shit would never happen if people supported Ukraine like this should have. And Russia got its shit shoved right off the bat. There wouldn't be any of this. Things would have been different. Guaranteed.
Iran's stubborn and self-evident nuclear pursuits, their targeting of global shipping lanes, and their swelling arsenal of ballistic missiles and killer drones are no longer tolerable risks. Iran was building powerful missiles and drones
Oh my God,
to
dude.
create a conventional shield for their nuclear blackmail ambitions. Let me say
Oh my God. Nuclear blackmail ambitions. Here we go.
that again. A conventional shield for their
My
nuclear
WMDs.
blackmail ambitions. Our bases, our people, our allies, all in their crosshairs. Iran had a conventional gun to our head as they tried to lie their way to a nuclear bomb. It almost worked under Obama and his terrible deal, but not under this president.
Jesus.
Turns out the regime who chanted death to America and death to Israel was gifted death from America and death from Israel.
Oh, that was, you see, that was clever what he did there. The old switcheroo okey doke. Oh, yeah.
This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change, and the world is better off for it.
Dude, who wrote his speeches? Dr. Seuss? One fish, two fish,
Today,
green
in their
fish, blue fish.
desperation, the enemy is unmasked as Iranian missiles and drones rain down indiscriminately
Box and socks box rock stocks.
on the hotels, airports, apartments, and other civilian targets of their neighbors. Cowardly terrorist tactics from a regime that for decades has trafficked in cowardly terrorist tactics, lies, death, and destruction to this day. The Iranian leadership has built nothing except proxies and missiles and drones and deeply buried nuclear factories and facilities.
You think Stephen Miller wrote this? This seems a little tame for Stephen Miller. I don't feel like the fear Gestapo vibe yet. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not awake yet.
Full nuclear ambitions do not need to be buried underneath mountains. Last June, Operation Midnight Hammer obliterated their nuclear program to rubble. Afterward, we told them plainly, that's it, now make a deal. They arrogantly refused. We said, rebuild it, and we'll stop you again, this time far worse. Well, President Trump, Secretary Rubio, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, they bent over backwards for real diplomacy, offering pathway after pathway to peace. I watched it. I was there. They tried over and over and over again earnest attempts at peace. The former regime had every chance to make a peaceful and sensible deal. But Tehran was not negotiating.
Yeah. Apparently too deep to be completely obliterated, right? Operation Midnight Chungus Hammer. What happened to that? We are just completely obliterated.
They were stalling, buying time to reload their missile stockpiles and restart their nuclear ambitions. Their goal, hold us hostage, threatening to strike our forces. Well, President Trump doesn't play those games. And as Secretary Rubio said after the Maduro raid, if you don't know, now you know. President Trump puts America and Americans first. He doesn't hesitate, and neither do our troops.
A Venezuelan.
The mission of Operation Epic Fury is laser focused. Destroy Iranian offensive missiles, destroy Iranian missile production, destroy their navy and other security infrastructure, and they will never have nuclear weapons. We're hitting them surgically, overwhelmingly, and unapologetically.
Bell with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. Brett Baba Yaga got one. Lily. Debbie Friedhaber. Aruga Olga. Nickel 9. Annette. Mike Cuban. Kimberly. B. Baldy. And Nikki. And that is it. Thank you very much for the support of the channel.
With every passing day, our capabilities get stronger and Iran's get weaker. We set the terms of this war from start to finish. Our ambitions are not.
Yeah, they did like minimal surface damage to their nuclear testing, allegedly. They did like minimal damage. Yeah. probably still going on if it is. Like, they made that thing so it was indestructible to American attacks because they know what type of weapons we got. Probably because it's been leaked out through who knows where. Who knows who might have took classified documents and put them in a bathroom. I don't know where they kind of leaked information from, but even if, who knows? Maybe they don't even have it.
Utopian. They are realistic.
Honestly, there's only one way to find out what level that is, and that's with boots on the ground. Which, if they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, like the Iranians were threatening to do, and start regulating it, which they have, ships have been turned around. The Strait of Hormuz is 30% of the world's petroleum products. 30%. That'll push oil well over $100 a barrel. Right? Some analysts are saying $200 a barrel, which that will shut down factories in China. That will shut down people going to work in the United States. That will shut down our way of life as we know it and our system that we have, because it's based around petroleum. 30% will shut the shit down worldwide, globally. So if Iran does not back down and they continue this for an extended period of time, past 60 days of operation, then Congress will be forced to declare war. Then they will pull us into another war, which at this point, I'm almost betting that's what they want to do. Get us sucked into another war. Because there's no way any of the Gulf states are going to allow the Strait of Hormuz to stay closed. Right? So it's all about the cards that Iran plays. We have to see what Iran's going to do. If they play the long game, if they can withstand these attacks, because I'm watching some of this footage and it is gnarly. We're hitting the fuck out of them. But they're hitting back too. And this is a country the size of Alaska with 90 million people. Like, this isn't a small little backwaters country. This is a big fucking superpower. But let there be no mistake.
Scoped to our interests and the defense of our people and our allies. Speaking of people, we hope the Iranian people take advantage of this incredible opportunity. President Trump has been clear, now is your time. To Iranian security forces, choose wisely. President Trump has also been clear about your fate in either direction. To the media outlets and political left screaming endless wars, stop. This is not Iraq. This is not endless. I was there for both. Our generation knows better, and so does this president. He called the last 20 years of nation-building wars dumb, and he's right. This is the opposite. This operation is a clear, devastating, decisive mission. Destroy the missile threat, destroy the Navy, no nukes.
And open up Pandora's box. Opening up Pandora's box. He thinks this is going to be isolated to Iran. And there's people not worldwide that are going to be absolutely upset with the fucking actions of the United States of America. Especially of all the reports of all the fucking pedo mafia involved behind our system, behind the way we live our lives, behind our clothes, our fashion design, what they put in our fucking music. They think this is going to be isolated and it's only going to happen. And let's take a look over here at what's going on in Bahrain. This is Bahrain. This is in Bahrain. All right, that's in Bahrain, and that's going for a U.S. Whereas the individuals throwing Molotov cocktails in Bahrain at Bahraini police forces in support of Iran's Islamic regime. This is destabilization. I believe also, I heard reports that they also stormed the embassy. I believe it was the United States embassy in Bahrain. This isn't just going to be an isolated thing. This is going to destabilize the Middle East. To what extent, God knows. They struck a match. Now just got to see what burns. It's fucking complete shit show.
Israel has clear missions as well, for which we are grateful. Capable partners, as we've said since.
I mean, we just had a terrorist attack in Austin. 3 people got shot, 3 people got killed, 14 wounded from a dude wearing a shirt that said product of Allah. Or yes, it's something to that extent. Yeah, I think it was not product of Allah. It was like owned or property of Allah. It was property of Allah, and he allegedly had an Iranian undershirt.
Capable partners are good partners. Unlike so many of our traditional allies who wring their hands and clutch their pearls, hemming and hawing about the use of force. America, regardless of what so-called international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history. B-2s, fighters, drones, missiles, and of course, classified effects. All on our terms, with maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives. As the president warned, an effort of this scope will include casualties. War is hell, and always will be. A grateful nation honors the 4 Americans who have lost thus far and those injured.
Sorry.
The absolute best of
I'm sorry.
America.
Sorry.
May we prosecute the remainder of this operation in a manner that honors them. No apologies, no hesitation, epic casualties. For them, war is hell, and the thousands of Americans before them, taken too soon by Iranian radicals. Before I turn it over to General Kane for the operational update, let me speak straight to you, the Joint Force, our warriors on the front lines. This is your moment. This is the generational turning point America has waited for since 1979, and since the rudderless wars of hubris.
Here, I found Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth's apology to the families of the fallen, right here.
Sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry.
Breaking.
We're
breaking footage right here, guys. It's absolutely
sorry. I'm deeply sorry.
More importantly, most important of all,
sorry.
you've got to learn.
Sorry.
100%. That's Pete Hegseth right there apologizing.
My generation, our generation, endured. Don't listen to the noise. Just stay focused. Our commander-in-chief is steady at the wheel. We face a determined enemy, but you are better. But we must prove it every single day. History doesn't care if we're tired, if we're scared, or if the fight feels big. It demands warriors who rise anyway. Peace through strength, the warrior ethos, lethality, unity of purpose, those are not slogans. They're the beating heart of what it means to wear the uniform, that uniform. You think clearly under fire, you act decisively in chaos, you uphold the Constitution, and you uphold our country without hesitation. We are not defenders anymore. We are warriors, trained to kill the enemy and break their will. History is watching. Be the force you swore an oath to be: focused, disciplined, lethal, and unbreakable. We will finish this on America First conditions of President Trump's choosing. Nobody else's, as it should be. And know this above all, President Trump and I have your back, always. Through fire, through criticism, through fake news, through everything. We unleash you because you are the best, most powerful, most lethal fighting force the world has ever seen.
Bunch of fucking young, impressionable children. That's all leading him into fucking death and destruction. That's all he's doing.
May Almighty God watch over you.
Because we're sure the fuck not.
Providential arms of protection extend
Oh my
over
god.
you. Godspeed, warriors. Keep going. General Kane, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone. The purpose of my portion of the briefing today is to update you and the American people on the actions taken thus far. The briefing will discuss the preparation, the planning, setting the force, the early operations, and how we're assessing the progress thus far. So let's get started. On Saturday, 28 February at 01:15 Eastern Standard Time, 9:45 a.m. local Tehran time, on the orders of the President of the United States, U.S. Central Command, under the command of United States Navy Admiral Brad Cooper, commenced Operation Epic Fury. As I said, I'm going to walk you through the initial phases of the operation. But first, I want to express my deep condolences and the condolences of the Joint Force to the Department of War personnel killed and wounded in actions thus far. As the Secretary said, they're heroes and represent the best of our nation has to offer. They're true examples of what selfless service means. Our deepest and heartfelt condolences are with their families, their friends, and their units. We grieve with you and we will never forget you. Additionally, I stand here before you today grateful for each service member, planner, logistician, operator across our joint force, for our Department of War civilians, our intelligence community teammates, our interagency teammates who continue to stand in harm's way alongside us. I am proud of all of you as you take the fight to the enemy, and we are the best in the world at integrating, period. I want to extend my personal gratitude to the dedicated commanders and senior enlisted leaders and the enlisted members of the Joint Force.
Yeah, Fideas is fucking losing his shit. My Cyprus. Iran stuck my Cyprus. You guys remember this fucking idiot?
Cyprus just been hit right now by Iran. Cyprus is a member state in the European Union. I am a member of the European Parliament from Cyprus.
And a Russian shill.
We want and we expect a united response from the entire European Union.
Oh my god, that's what he wants. Pull Europe into a war.
Cyprus is an EU territory, and one attack on a member state should be considered as an attack to the entire European Union.
My Cyprus. This is also the guy that said that the 30 to 40,000 stolen Ukrainian children went to Russia willingly.
I'm calling and talking to all the leaders of the European Union. We should give an example that nobody should mess with EU countries. God bless everyone, and let's hope that peace will come soon.
Oh my god, dude. What a fucking loser ass bum. My Cyprus.
Force who are fighting this fight across the CENTCOM AOR. In addition to Admiral Cooper and Fleet Master Chief Compton, I want to highlight a few today. U.S. Army Central Command Commander Lieutenant General Pat Frank, who along with his team are fighting the counter-missile and counter-drone fight. United States Navy Central Command Commander Vice Admiral Kurt Renshaw and his team, who are engaged with the Iranian Navy and projecting American naval combat power from the seas. And United States Air Force Central Command Commander Lieutenant General Derek France and his leadership team, who are crushing Iranian targets from the air. I want to highlight the support to the CENTCOM fight from other combatant commands who are directly involved with this effort, to include U.S. Spacecom,
yeah, that's the guy Caitlin school,
and U.S. UCOM.
The Cyprus.
I also want to specifically call out United States Transportation Command and U.S. STRATCOM for their contributions to this fight. We cannot project American combat power at the time and place of our choosing without both. And finally, I want to express how deeply thankful I am for the continued service and sacrifice of the entire Joint Force and their families. Their unwavering commitment and dedication are the cornerstones of this effort. So let me start with a few details. First, to be clear, as the Secretary said, this is not a single overnight operation. The military objectives that CENTCOM and the Joint Force have been tasked with will take some time to achieve, and in some cases will be difficult and gritty work. We expect to take additional losses, and as always, we will work to minimize U.S. losses. But as the Secretary said, this is major combat operations. So let me talk about the preparation and the planning.
So, part of major combat operations looks like it did affect Russia and Iran. RT News, it looks like Israel, it says right here, Igor Shushko is saying Israel destroyed Kremlin state propaganda Russia Today office in Iran. Take a
It
look.
was close to our. Hi, you can see my office is destroyed after the Israeli regime attack. You can see, as you can see, this building is destroyed. It was close to our office, very close to our office, and you can hear the sound of the gas in the area. Maybe we have the explosion, and I should leave this building.
That's not gas, that's Margarita Simonian just deflating. Well, at least something good came from this shit.
On February 28th, the full strength of America's armed forces came together in a unified purpose against a capable and determined adversary. The United States Army,
Hey, Jess.
Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, and our reserve components integrated across our combatant commands and began coordinated operations with the Israeli armed forces of an unprecedented scale. As the Secretary laid out, our military objectives are clear. Our mission is to protect and defend ourselves and, together with our regional partners, prevent Iran from the ability to project power outside of its borders and be ready for follow-on actions as appropriate. Across every domain, land, air, sea, cyber, the U.S. Joint Force delivered synchronized and layered effects designed to disrupt, degrade, deny, and destroy Iran's ability to conduct and sustain combat operations. On the U.S. side, this marked the culmination of months and in some cases years of deliberate planning and refinement against this particular target set. From precision strikes against key military infrastructure to persistent intelligence and targeting integration to the close coordination of the components across vast distances, this operation again demonstrated America's reach, readiness, and professionalism, and that of our joint united force. It was historic not only in the operational scope, but in the level of joint integration displayed across every element of the joint force. And as I said earlier, this work is just beginning and will continue.
About them Epstein files? Facts.
So now to talk a little bit about setting the force and setting the theater. On the order of the Secretary of War over the last 30 days to reinforce deterrence and provide the President with credible options should action be required, the Joint Force began to systematically reposition assets and personnel across the region. These movements ensured that U.S. forces remained postured, protected, and ready to respond decisively for any emerging threat.
Thanks for being here,
This
guys.
deployment included thousands of service members from all branches, hundreds of advanced fourth and fifth generation fighters, dozens of refueling tankers, the Lincoln and Ford Carrier Strike Group, and their embarked air wings.
So there's been a lot of info back and forth, too, about the Lincoln. IRCG was reporting that it fled to open seas to the Southeast Asian Ocean because they targeted it with 4 cruise missiles. That's unconfirmed. So then there was also Trump saying we sunk 9 Navy vessels of the Iranian fleet. I haven't seen any of that. Has anybody seen any of that? It sounds like there was one for sure, but there's a lot going on out there that's it's unknown. And then Iran released footage of a cruise missile passing 3 cruisers and hitting a U.S. freaking battleship, and it was completely like, it looked like watching Arma. It was terrible.
Sustained flow of munitions, fuel, supplies, all supported with command and control, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance network. And the flow of forces continues today. In fact, Admiral Cooper will receive additional forces even today. This rapid buildup of forces demonstrated the joint forces' ability to adapt and project power at the time and place of our nation's choosing. I want to highlight a couple specific cases for you. The Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group, which many of you know was down in the Western Hemisphere, redeployed across the Atlantic to set the theater. The ship, her crew, their families, and the entire strike group took a deep breath and, as they always do, began planning to conduct combat operations. The integrated Reserve and National Guard forces have continued to demonstrate the value of America's reserve forces, including the Wisconsin Army National Guard operating in Kuwait and Iraq, and Air National Guard units from a variety of states to include Vermont and Virginia. In the case of the Vermont Air National Guard and the 158th Fighter Wing, they were mobilized for Operation Absolute Resolve and then were tasked to take their F-35As across the Atlantic instead of going home to be prepared to support this operation. The same is with our Air National Guard and Air Force Reserve Command.
So the Iranian fleet, as of November, had 7 frigates, 5 corvettes, 20 fast attack craft, 6 patrol boats, 31 amphibious ships, auxiliary ships 17, submarines 19, and 54 aircraft. They've got subs. That's from Wikipedia. Wikipedia saying they have submarines. And if we've seen anything, it doesn't take boats to shut down a sea. The Ukrainians did it to the Russians, they did it without a navy. So they probably still have a force out there, and they could probably still shut down. The Strait of Hormuz is only 21 miles wide. It's not very wide at all. It's really not that big of an area to police if they wanted to. So I'm sure they have to have, there's no way they haven't been developing some sort of drone torpedoes. 19 subs. Yeah, I'm reading it right here. Look, I'll pull it over. It's in Wikipedia. I mean, that's not the greatest source in the world, but right here. Attack submarines 3 kilo class, coastal submarine 1, and then midget submarines 15. Okay, so small submarines. But kilo class, those are formidable. A group diesel electrical attack submarines designed by Rubin Design Bureau in the Soviet Union in the 70s. It's still a submarine. More than 70 kilo class boats have been built. Around 60 were active service in 2023. Class Farsi class. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's land ships over here. They've got a navy. They've got a navy. This is like I said, this is a country of 90 million people. It's a huge country.
And tanker and mobility forces who stepped right out of their civilian jobs to deploy and to protect.
Inconsequential. Exactly. All they have to do is put mines. Is mine the whole goddamn thing. Exactly. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a really good point.
Lastly, I want to highlight.
Well, on Bombshell, remember for 8 months. Thank you very much, BB. Shout out to the cookie lovers.
Force, those who quietly work every day behind the scenes to project and sustain America's combat power. Our leaders from World War II were right when they said professionals do logistics. As regional tensions rose, the Joint Force elevated our force protection measures on the order of the Secretary and repositioned discreetly civilians and non-essential personnel designed to ensure the safety and security of our joint force. By the time operations began, only essential forces remained on our bases and in theater, all ready, capable to respond.
Why did we attack? There's reports coming out. The Wall Street Journal reported that the head of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and Netanyahu were forcing Trump to attack. That's why. And we all know how high of integrity the Saudis have, right? They would never play Trump like a fiddle, right? Or backstab the United States, right?
So now let me move to H hour. At 3:38 p.m. on Friday, February 27th, the United States Central Command, through the Secretary of War, received the final go order from President Trump. The president directed, and I quote, "Operation Epic Fury is approved. No aborts. Good luck," close quote. In the region, every element of the joint force made their final preparations. Air defense batteries readied themselves, checking their systems to respond to Iranian attacks. Pilots and crews rehearsed their strike packages for the final time. Air crews began loading their final weapons, and 2 carrier strike groups began to move towards their launching points. Across the globe, our operations centers came alive in Tampa, Florida, here at the Pentagon. And
Yeah, on top of that, like, it's something that Trump's wanted to do from the get-go. Like, Kamala Harris straight called it. If Trump wins the presidency, we're going to go to war with Iran. So, I mean, since he cut Soleimani in two with the scissor drone, it's been back and forth with him, really.
course forward in the Central Command AOR. As always, operational security was paramount as we sought to maintain and sustain the element of surprise. This operation was highly classified so that at H hour, the enemy would see one thing: speed, surprise, and violence of action. The first movers were U.S. Cybercom and U.S. Spacecom, layering non-kinetic effects, disrupting and degrading and blinding Iran's ability to see, communicate, and respond. At H hour, the beginning of major combat operations, 01:15 local Eastern Daylight Time, 9:45 local AM Tehran time, as dawn crept up across the Central Command AOR, the skies surged to life. More than 100 aircraft launched from land, sea, fighters, tankers, airborne early warning, electronic attack, bombers from the States, and unmanned platforms, forming a single synchronized wave. This was a daylight strike based on a trigger event conducted by the Israeli Defense Forces, enabled by the U.S. intelligence community. The first shooters at sea were Tomahawks unleashed by the United States Navy, closed in on Iranian naval forces, and began to conduct strikes across the southern flank in Iran. On the ground, forces fired precision standoff weapons, measured, deliberate.
All right, I didn't see this, but I just found this. Iranian drones. It looks like this was reported 3 hours ago. This is Republicans against Trump. They've been a really reliable source on X, to tell you the truth. They are stating that one of the largest exporter right here, breaking Iranian drones struck Saudi Aramco's Ras Tanura facility, one of the world's largest oil export terminals. Saudi authorities shut down operations in the facility following the attack. This is wild, dude. I just can't comprehend the scope of this right now in my brain.
Precise and lethal. This was a massive, overwhelming attack across all domains of warfare, striking more than 1,000 targets in the first 24 hours. We are now roughly 57 hours into the operation. In the initial phase, CENTCOM's focus was systematic targeting of Iranians' command and control infrastructure, naval forces, ballistic missile sites, and intelligence infrastructure designed to daze and confuse them. Coordinated space and cyber operations effectively disrupted communications and sensor networks across the area of responsibility, leaving the adversary without the ability to see, coordinate, or respond effectively. The combined impact of these strikes, swift, precise, and overwhelming, has resulted in the establishment of local air superiority. This air superiority will not only enhance the protection of our forces, but also allow them to continue the work over Iran.
Crude oil has gone up approximately 8 to 10% over the last 72 hours.
Over the course of the last 2 days, the Joint Force has launched hundreds of missions from land and sea and delivered tens of thousands of pieces of ordnance. The effort continues to scale. This included American B-2 bombers, which again, similar to Midnight Hammer, flew a 37-hour round-trip sortie from the continental United States, dropping precision, penetrating munitions on Iranian underground facilities across the southern flank and slightly deeper. Additionally, Israel has separately executed hundreds of sorties against hundreds of targets. Beyond Air Force and Navy aircraft strike packages, coordinated salvos of precision standoff weapons from across the region have neutralized hundreds of pre-planned targets. As I mentioned earlier, In support of these kinetic operations, U.S. Cybercom and Spacecom have continuously layered effects to disrupt, disorient, and confuse the enemy. I will note that this operation had several combat firsts, which I'll allow at some point in the future Admiral Cooper to talk about since he owns the AOR. While we've prosecuted a relentless offensive campaign, our defense has been equally important. Across the theater, operations have remained steady and disciplined. Once again, our integrated air and missile defense network is performing exactly as it's intended. U.S. Patriot and THAAD batteries, along with ballistic missile defense capable Navy destroyers, continue to coordinate and execute intercepts with precision and consistency.
At least this man isn't. He sounds a lot more sincere than Pete Hegseth as far as what he's saying. At least he has a more gentle voice other than that Fox News ass sort of fucking neo-Nazi vibe.
I wish that every American could hear the voice communications like I have as these joint operations centers remain calm, focused, and cool while executing under fire over and over again.
That's still he has a murderous pecker still apparently.
Collectively, these systems have intercepted hundreds of ballistic missiles targeting U.S. forces, our partners, and regional stability. The threat from one-way attack UAVs has remained persistent. Our systems have proven effective in countering these platforms, engaging targets rapidly. Each intercept represents hundreds of hours of training, readiness, and technology all coming together to work as designed. We will remain vigilant in the counter UAV fight. And the defense of the region is not ours alone. As the threat grew, our partners surged in beside us. Air defense batteries in Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia joined the fight, proof positive that years of training, trust, and hard-earned integration pay off. I am aware of the loss of 3 U.S. Air Force F-15Es overnight in the region.
Oh,
I
okay.
am grateful for the safety of the crews, and we know that this was not from hostile enemy fire.
I have a video of that right here. Actually, it's pretty crazy. One of them was a female pilot, and they were in Kuwait. The Kuwaitis were super friendly to us. Check this out. This is kind of crazy.
Everything good? You need something to help you? No problem. You're safe. You're safe. You're safe. Everything good? No problem. Thank you for helping us. Everything perfect? You need something to help?
That's crazy, dude.
As this matter's under investigation, I'll not comment further on this. Let me close. Operations will remain active across the theater and across the globe. The U.S. forces are postured not only to maintain pressure, but to respond and adapt as required. Operation Epic Fury stands as a reminder of what the United States military uniquely delivers: the ability to project power on a global scale with speed, surprise, precision, and overwhelming force when and where our nation requires it. What we've demonstrated over the past several days reflects years of investment in readiness, joint integration, and professionalism of the joint force.
When is the last time 3 aircraft of the United States got shot down? I don't even remember that. I'm sure it happened, but I'm talking like jets, F-15s. I can't even tell you when it happened, if it happened in Afghanistan. I don't, unless it was like system failures. I don't even remember.
As major combat operations continue
3
across CENTCOM,
in 72
we
hours.
remain engaged globally. America's joint force retains the credibility, capacity, and flexibility to respond to any contingency anywhere in the world.
Iraq 2003,
at any
maybe,
time.
right?
To those
Maybe?
who would test our resolve or threaten the United States, our allies, or our interests, understand clearly we can reach you We can sustain the fight, and we can scale the fight, and we will prevail. To the American people, your joint force remains steady, frosty, calm, and focused. Your service members are trained, disciplined, and determined. We understand the risks of this mission and the weight of the responsibility that we carry. We also recognize that our families also shoulder the burden at home. You are a part of this too. I am proud today, as I am every day, to stand as a member of America's joint force. There is no mission too complex, no distance too great.
How in the fuck is this a success if they were shot down by friendly fire? Like, don't they have transponders for this? They should, like, any air defense system should automatically register the, so they have technology, right? Where they can, okay, that's our aircraft. It's pinging a certain frequency or whatever the fuck they use now. That should make it on a blue list, not to go hot, right? I don't.
And no adversary too determined for the men and women who wear our nation's uniform.
Yeah, you know what it is? I'm getting the same vibes watching our shit get shot down as I did when Russia launched unguided rockets, and I was so fucking ignorant. I was so fucking ignorant. I was like, why are they shooting unguided rockets into apartment complexes? Why are they doing that?
We mourn our fallen, we honor their families, and we continue our mission with focus, unity, and strength. And now I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Right here. Go ahead.
Thank you for your time. What percentage of Iranian long strike capabilities are still in the fight, and what is our exit strategy here, and when will it be deployed?
Well, they have long-range strike capabilities, which we are hyper-focused on. The brief we got just this morning, Admiral Cooper knows exactly and precisely what kind of threat matrix he's looking at, the way they might change their techniques and how we adapt to that. So we're making sure the theater commander has absolutely everything he needs. I mean, one of the things the chairman mentioned is for months and months, even before we built up, we ensured that we had maximum defensive capabilities in theater to allow the president the decision space in the future. So even before this build up in the last 30 days, we discreetly brought defensive assets in to make sure, understanding that there are Iranian capabilities. As far as time frame, I would never hang a time frame from our perspective. The commander-in-chief sets the op tempo and terms of this fight. As I said, it's on his terms.
4 years.
And we'll make sure that Admiral Cooper and his team have everything they need.
Through the midterms.
Not just to defend. I mean, the best defense is good offense. And so we're aggressively pushing into that airspace over that southern flank to ensure that we control it and we destroy anything that moves that would attempt to shoot us. Think of it as shooting the archer instead of the arrows. That's where we want to be. And we have the kind of exquisite intelligence to get over the top, find that and destroy it. It won't happen overnight. This is a big battle space with a lot of capabilities. That's part of the reason why it's such a threat to us. That's why I talk about conventional umbrella to blackmail nuclear ambitions. They were building up this conventional arsenal in order to ensure that no one would ever block them from their ability to get nuclear weapons. So we're very clear-eyed about the nature of this Iranian threat, and we're going to get after it. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for the question. The only thing I'll add is that unlike an operation, a single operation like Midnight Hammer or Absolute Resolve, it'll take some time for us to conduct battle damage assessment, and the targeting cycle that CENTCOM will run will take those things into effect. Admiral Cooper will adjust his plan and fires accordingly to ensure that we're attriting that. He's focused on long-range strike capability coming out of the enemy, and that's a key and essential part of it.
Of the capabilities that still exist from the enemy front?
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say we're still doing BDA. Normally we'd be able to see a singular thing and we'd assess pretty quickly. He's doing offense and assessment simultaneously, so it'll take longer for us to assess than it would in a single operation.
Secretary Hegseth, thank you. Reagan Reese with the Daily Caller. 2 questions for you. The president said.
Just want to play this real quick.
Here in the beautiful city of Detroit to visit one of the incredible small businesses. But before I go in, I want to address what we learned today. Donald Trump has dragged us into a war the American people do not want. He has put American troops in harm's way. I unequivocally oppose this war of choice, and everyone should. And the bottom line, when it comes down to it, is that if we want to stop Donald Trump with this random decision that he has arrived at, then Congress must act, and Congress must act immediately. The American people do not want our sons and daughters to go into this unauthorized war of choice, and I unequivocally oppose it. Thank you.
She campaigned as well. She campaigned as well, saying this is going to happen. She warned us this was going to happen. And that's why she received my vote. Part of why.
Said yesterday in his video message that we will leave Iran when we complete all of our objectives. What are our objectives? And can you share more information on how the soldiers who were killed were killed?
Well, I laid out the objectives, as did the chairman. They're completely nested. I mean, Iran has an ability to project power against us and our allies in ways that we can't tolerate. So whether that's ballistic missiles and drones, so offensive capabilities, effectively their navy, which would attempt to set other terms and impose different costs, drone capabilities, which we laid out there, and ultimately, though, this tying it back to Midnight Hammer, the president has been willing to make a deal. You can't have a nuclear bomb. Radical Islamists can't have a nuclear bomb that they wield against the world. He gave them every single opportunity. Then we precisely took it away. And even then, after that, they didn't have that. They didn't come to the table with.
All right, we got breaking news right now. This has come from the Tux Network, which has been an extremely reliable source for information coming out of Iran. Breaking news: the UAE is projected to exhaust its interceptor missile stock within 1 week at the current rate of fire, and Qatar within 4 days. Both are urgently seeking additional military support from the United States. This is a report that started with Bloomberg.
Willingness to give it away. So ultimately, those nuclear ambitions, which never ceased, are something that had to be addressed as well. So that's a discrete sense of what's being addressed here to ensure that they can't use that conventional umbrella to continue a pursuit of nuclear ambitions. And then as it pertains to the U.S. casualties, that particular incident was, you have air defenses and the lot's coming in and you hit most of it. And we absolutely do. We have incredible air defenders. Every once in a while, you might have one, unfortunately, we call it a squirter that makes its way through. And in that particular case, it happened to hit a tactical operations center that was fortified, but these are powerful weapons. So we certainly will do, as I said, moments like that, as we remember them and we take care of them and take care of their families, only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we do this properly.
Thank you.
Yep. Right here.
Thank you, Secretary Hegseth. I had two questions.
Will they ask North Korea for missiles? I'm dead.
For you. First, are there currently any American boots on the ground in Iran?
No, but we're not going to go into the exercise of what we will or will not do. I think it's one of those fallacies for a long time that this department or presidents or others should tell the American people this, and our enemies, by the way, here's exactly what we'll do.
There are reports of the USS Arlington being loaded in Norfolk. USS Arlington would be used for heavy Marine troop movement in a pinch. These are unconfirmed reports. But the USS Arlington is in Norfolk, and people are reporting it has been loading nonstop. Unconfirmed, I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
Here's exactly how long we'll go. Here's exactly how far we'll go. Here's what we're willing to do and not do. It's foolishness. And so President Trump ensures that our enemies understand we'll go as far as we need to go to advance American interests. But we're not dumb about it. You don't have to roll 200,000 people in there and stay for 20 years. We've proven that you can achieve objectives that advance American interests without being foolish about it. Now, will we be bold about it? Are we willing to be decisive about it? Do we put months and months of planning into what kind of effects we want to achieve? Absolutely. But going forward, why in the world would we tell you, the enemy, anybody, what we will or will not do in pursuit of an objective? We fight to win. We fight to achieve the objectives the President of the United States has laid out, and we will do so unapologetically. Thank
Is there
you.
any significance to Israel carrying out this strike to kill the Ayatollah? And I wanted to know, what was your immediate reaction to finding out about his killing?
I think Israel did a great job in the conduct of that operation.
President Trump put a 4-week
Here you go,
timeline
right
on
here,
it. Are you
please.
saying that's wrong?
Yeah, thank you. You mentioned during the briefing, General Kane, that there would be additional troops sent to the region. Could you say how many troops currently are involved in this operation and how many additional troops are planned to go in this next phase?
I don't want to talk specifics because that would tip the enemy off. We have more tactical aviation flowing into theater just based on the time it took to get it out there. I think we're just about where we want to be in terms of total combat capacity and total combat power for Admiral Cooper. One of the things, though, that a commander, he'll consistently assess the trajectory of the campaign. Is he on or off trajectory? And then make an ask of the joint force, which will then develop options for consideration by the Secretary and the President to either increase or in some cases decrease the amount of combat capability that we have over there.
I heard the question about 4 weeks. It's the typical NBC sort of gotcha type question. President Trump has all the latitude in the world to talk about how long it may or may not take. 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. It could move up.
4
it could
years.
move back. We're going to execute
10
at
years.
his command the objectives we've set out to achieve. And what he has shown an ability to do that other presidents can't quite seem to have the aperture to do. Well, I mean, Joe Biden didn't even know what he was doing, is to look for opportunities and offers and escalations for the United States that creates new opportunities to execute what we need on our own timeline. So you can play games about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. He has all the latitude, and I'm glad he does, because there's no better communicator than our president expressing those things.
Daily Mail.
I've been in meetings with the president for the last 2.5 days. We know exactly
Getting your
where
fucking
his
ass chewed.
headspace is, and he will communicate as he should exactly what he would like, and we will follow those orders. And I think everything he said on that is right down the middle.
Chairman, did you have
Absolutely.
evidence
Yes, right there.
on
Yes,
the
sir.
strike first?
Thank you very much, Secretary. I left my hometown of Hegseth in Iranian Kurdistan in 1996. Can you promise that I will be able to return home safely this year? And I have a following question too, please.
I appreciate the question. I'm not here to place guarantees on that, but I think the message the president has given has been clear to the people of Iran. This is your moment. The world was seized by these crowds, and then seized by the reality of this regime killing tens of thousands of innocent protesters. So we saw the nature of the regime yet again exposed. We saw many of the Iranian people seek a change there. This is their moment to take advantage of it, for sure.
Secretary, you served in Iraq and know that no American soldiers were killed in Kurdistan. The Kurdish people are very pro-American. Will you continue protect Kurdistan and Peshmerga as loyal ally of the United States? Why I'm asking this question? Because now Kurdistan is under attack by Iranian drones and by proxies in Iraq and on the region.
I think I can speak to allies generally in the region who we've been in constant communication with. We've been standing shoulder to shoulder with them, and we appreciate their capabilities. Absolutely. Yes, right here.
Hi, thank you. Cameron Arkin with the Daily Wire. My question is about some of the domestic threats, if any, regarding this right now. Have there been any concerns about Iranian sleeper cells, and kind of what has the Trump administration been doing to kind of monitor these
Well,
threats?
across the interagency, in full coordination, of course, we're paying attention to any potentialities there. This is a former regime, a regime that seeks to export that ideology and try to sow terror. We're ready for that. We've seen these types of folks before, and the American people can rest assured that we're vigilant on that. Right here.
Secretary, thank you. Kind of a follow-up on that last question. There was just this, what appears to be a terrorist attack in Austin yesterday. How does that change the operation at all? What effect does that have? And then
It doesn't change the operation at all, and I know the authorities are executing exactly the way they should.
Secretary Hegseth, and one for Chairman Kane as well. I understand, to your point here, that you don't want to broadcast everything for our adversaries to hear, but the American people also want to know what they're sending their men and women to war for. Is there a concern of this spiraling into a longer war? And then one for the chairman when you're done.
Did you not hear my remarks? I mean, we're ensuring the mission gets accomplished, but we are very clear-eyed, as the president has been, unlike other presidents, about the foolish policies of the past.
Did
that
you not
recklessly
hear my
pulled us in
remarks?
to things that were not tethered to actual clear
snarky
objectives. So we know. We have plans, we have
projecting.
generals, we have chairmans, we have commanders, CENTCOM commanders, Admiral Cooper, who's executing very deliberately to ensure outcomes that I laid out are accomplished. But we would never, in front of a press pool, lay out how long that may take. The mission for our warfighters, which is what matters to us, is very, very clear. And they're executing it right now violently.
And just for the chairman quickly, I have one for the chairman. You said this is not a one-night operation. It will take time to achieve the goals. What would be the goal
Biden, 3,
line
2,
here
1
for you?
for sure.
The
My Biden.
Secretary laid out the military objectives, and that's
Biden
what
did
we
this.
execute against is the military objectives.
Last one right here.
Thank you, sir. As you've said, there are a large amount of U.S. service members that are in harm's way right now. What is your prayer for them?
First of all, my prayer for them is that I do pray for them. My wife prays for them, our family prays for them, our cabinet prays for them. None of this is done on a whim. Having been in their boots, having been in their shoes, having been in their flight suits, I know we think about them with every decision that we make and every recommendation that we make to the President of the United States. Those recommendations are made prayerfully. And when I pray every day for them and for this mission, I pray simply for the biblical wisdom to see what is right and the courage to do it. It's going to take courage to follow through on this. There's going to be a lot of noise, and we pray for that, and we hope all of you do as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Biblical wisdom. All right, that's it. Biblical wisdom. That's what we get from Pete Kage's breath. Biblical wisdom. Takeaways. We have no determination of how long this is going to be. We have no clue how long this is going to last. The president can pick and choose how long this is going to go, which is bullshit. He needs congressional approval after 60 days. We've gotten reports of export facilities in Saudi Arabia being targeted and hit and shut down. We have potential for the Strait of Hormuz being shut down, which is 20% of the world's oil. What do we got? More takeaways. If you kill Americans, threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. Pete Hegseth, quote. Unless you're Russia. Unless you're Russia, then we roll out the red carpet for you. That's the truth behind this fucking travesty. We talk tough. A bunch of tough talk. Nothing being done against Russia and Ukraine. And now I'm kind of starting to figure out now why we didn't send a bunch of air defense. Greek F-16s have arrived to assist in the defense of Cyprus after Iranian attacks. What else we got? France, Germany, and UK are joining forces to build long-range missiles, Macron announced. He's also signaled readiness to deploy French nuclear weapons on the territory of allied European nations. What else we got? We got a new post from CENTCOM. I gotta look into that real quick. Last night, US B-1... No, that was an hour ago. 5 minutes ago. Multiple squadrons of F-18s are supporting sustained operations against Iran. U.S. forces are flying day and night to deliver overwhelming firepower. We've got some pictures here. You see what's coming out that exhaust right there? See that shit? Yeah, that's your universal health care. What else we got? There is a possibility that Russia may be sending Shahed-type drones to Iran. Iran has already shown interest in Russia's modified version, such as the Garan 3 and the Garan 5, which are essentially inexpensive cruise missiles with improved speed up to 600 kilometers and anti-jamming capabilities. The factory in the Alabuga Special Economic Zone currently produces more than 500 drones per month and is constantly expanding. Experts note that the scale of production in the Alabuga allows Moscow to export updated and battle-tested versions to drones back to Iran. That would explain why they're coming through our the defense over there. I don't even want to say the defense over there. Destroying the Russian factory that makes Shahed Giran drones would be the right strategic decision. Maybe they can, man. There's already reports that specialists are going to help with the air defense in the Middle East. That was reported by, I believe it was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Oh, what we got here? Breaking news. Baron Trump rushed to the hospital with bone spurs. Satire. That was satire. Spain has ordered U.S. tanker aircraft to leave its Moran and Rota bases after Madrid rejected allowing support for the military strikes in Iran, Reuters reports. Well, that's about it. That's all I got. There's a bunch of war footage on there, but we're not doing that. Guys, I'll go breaking in tonight if anything else happens. I've got a busy week scheduled, but one thing you can do to help a lot if you haven't already, really trying to get the numbers up on the gaming channel. It's going. I'm looking for more subscriptions for my gaming channel. It's hard to find. I might just change the name of it, make it something easier. I just don't know what. It's hard to find. It is. The Chunger Games. We were playing with Merc last night, playing a little Division. Again. Playing with Mercado Gaming. Save playlist. Division 2. We're doing a little Division 2 last night with Mercado. Had a lot of fun. Got my little fella there. My Division 2 fella.
Switch that out real quick.
See now.
Oh dang, what'd he get? An unknown.
System back online.
Ow. It's a shoot and loot game, but it's a lot of fun to play when I felt my brain was just sausage last night. So I needed something, shoot 'em up, loot 'em up, sort of ass energy. And it's fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. So if you can throw me a couple subs over there, that'd be great. You guys want to come hang out. I don't, like I said, if there's more news on Iran, we're going to say hyper-focus on this. This has a global impact. There's destabilization everywhere. It looks like there's already people getting shot in different countries right now. They're storming U.S. embassies and areas like that. So we have to share the news on this. I feel like the algorithm and the way things are, you're not going to hear much about what's really going on unless we share it. And my little platform is willing to do that. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here today. Thanks for sharing your morning with me. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We covered the Kegs breath, so we'll see what happens the next few days. We should be hearing from Congress by the end of the week too, so we'll see what's going on there. Yeah, we'll go into more reactions too with what some of our politicians are saying here, but I have a feeling we are going to get pulled into another war with Iran. I don't think this is going to be an SMO. I think Congress might have their hand forced on this one. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, here's your outro. Talk to you later.
They wave their flags like they own the sky, shouting loud, but they don't know why. Books untouched, their minds run dry. Truth's a stranger, they pass right by. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. They chant the words they barely know, hollow pride in a shallow show, pointing fingers where the winds don't blow, building walls where the rivers flow. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. A patriot's heart should beat with grace, not with fists or a hate-filled face. If love's the seed, then let it grow, not in shadows, but where light will show. Oh.